seconds, sir. All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. Thank you for coming to the East Region Town Hall Municipal Advisory Council. Today's date is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Nope, you can't. Oh, that's okay. Today's date is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025, and the time is 4 p.m. You can hear me now. No? Can everybody hear me now? All right.
Try that one.
I think I can hear me. So that's all that matters. Okay, so welcome to the East Region Town Hall. We're going to do the roll call, calling the meeting to order. Let's start with Angela.
Here.
Holly.
Here.
Jim.
Here.
Denise, excused, and Maria here. I should probably use our last names too, huh? Okay, well, all right. So the first thing we have up is our public input. We allow 3 minutes per citizen to discuss any item that's not on our agenda. So if you would like to bring up something, please approach the podium, clearly state your name, and you've got 3 minutes. Go ahead. Oh, that's not on.
Hello, Earth. Margot Kambara,
Hello, Margo.
Lake County General Plan Advisory Committee Representative. Lake County is updating its general plan. That includes a section on geothermal resources. Here's an update on Sonoma Clean Power. Since last month's Earth meeting, Sonoma Clean Power Board of Directors voted to extend Lake County a conditional invitation. This is a change from Sonoma Clean Power's presentation to Lake County Board of Supervisors a few months ago. At that time,
I can't hear.
Can you bring the mic a little closer to you?
hello? Where should I pick up? Hello?
Okay, I would suggest with the new thing that the Clean Power is approaching the Board of Supervisors.
Okay. Okay, at that time, the offer to join Sonoma Clean Power and Sonoma Clean Power's geothermal energy program were separate. Not so now. Lake County, cities of Clear Lake and Lakeport must agree to having geothermal infrastructure in Lake County without basic information. Information such as proposed locations for the infrastructure, the footprint of the infrastructure, the technology proposed for geothermal energy production in Lake County, data on the proof of concept for the proposed technology. A consumer choice aggregator can be very positive for Lake County. Basic information about Sonoma Clean Power's proposed geothermal plans is needed to make an informed decision. While individual energy consumers can opt out of Sonoma Clean Power's service, taxpayers will be on the hook for decades if Lake County joins Sonoma Clean Power. Thank you.
Thank you, Margot.
Hello, Gail Delane, Clear Lake Oaks. I wanted to give thanks and appreciation to the council, the Earth Council, and to our supervisor, Supervisor Crandall, for helping us. The Earth meetings are so necessary, and they're a great place for people to feel like they're being heard, and that problems can be solved. So Supervisor took up an ordinance or a draft to start the conversation about mobile home park space rent control and a lot of controls, other controls that are needed within the park. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Gail.
Hello, my name is Sterling Wellman. I live in Spring Valley, and I'm actually here to do a public comment about concerns about fire hydrants that are being removed out in Spring Valley. So, California Code Section 507.1, any approved water supply compatible of supply the required fire flow shall be provided and maintained. They're taking it out, they're not maintaining it. California Code Section 507.5, fire hydrant systems shall be maintained in an operable condition at all times, again, being removed or bagged. California Code Regulation Title 22, Section 64602, states public water systems must maintain a minimum of 20 psi pressure in the distributing system, including during peak demand. We have the California Health and Safety Code 13861. Fire protection agencies must provide protection against the spared of fire. And so I'm going to read what I have put together from the emails from Robin Borey and Helen Mitchum. It states, on Quail Trail in Spring Valley, we once had 3 hydrants, sorry. Today, 2 of them had been removed. One was been completely removed, and there's a steel plate. The other one had a leak, and now it's no longer leaking, and there's a steel plate next to that. That leaves 1 fire hydrant for Quail Trail. Okay? The law is very clear. The fire code requires hydrants to be kept operable at all times. Title 22 requires public water systems to maintain adequate system pressure. I stated that earlier. And then the other concern about this is, I've come here many a times. EJ has heard my concerns. The Board of Supervisors have heard my concerns for over a year. Our water loss is very high. I have many community members contacting me. I have many videos of water leaks. So now we're not just dealing with the fact that we have a failing system. Now we have a failing leadership that is putting the lives at risk. I mean, she's stating that she doesn't have to maintain the water pressure through the fire hydrants. She's removing fire hydrants. And instead of actually addressing the problem, which is the failing water system, and applying for the correct grants through state and federal that will pay to fix the complete water system, nobody's pockets will be touched, not even the special districts or come out of the county. So it's just neglect all the way around, and now the safety of our lives is now being put in jeopardized. It's already one way in and one way out. I have complained about the bridge. They state that they can't put the bridge. It's becoming a point to where it seems like some higher officials are not worried about the 1,000+ people that are living in Spring Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Sterling.
Hi, Bill McHugh from the Oaks. This is an email that was sent to EJ Crandall from another resident of the Oaks, but it's referenced Schindler's Creek. So if I can read it to you. She wanted to take a moment to write you about the poor conditions of Schindler Creek that flows from Highway 20 in Clear Lakes. The amount of sediment that is being pulled into the creek and in turn the canal's key subdivision is very bad. There's also overgrowth of trees, shrubs, weeds that impedes the flow of water. It has become a dumping ground for tires, appliances, garbage, and also finds a way into the canals in the key subdivision. The amount of trash and overgrowth will soon cause flooding to some of the homes in the Keys if this is not taken care of. Please come to the Keys location and look at the condition of the creek, and you'll be able to address it if you could very soon. As a matter of fact, last week the sheriff was there, code enforcement, and there was one homeless person that had 4 warrants out. So they arrested him Thursday night, and then Barbara cleaned up and a neighbor cleaned up, took a truckload of garbage from there. So she walks that area all the time, and she keeps track of who's back there. And there's no cameras back there, so we can't see it, so somebody has to walk. But most of it is in the creek bed now, and supposedly Water Resources takes care of that, but nobody from Water Resources has come by to take care of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Bill. How's our Zoom people? Are we? Are they there? I want to, hi, Lori. She wanted me to wink to her, but I can't do that. Okay.
You got one more.
We've got one more.
If there are any questions out there in Zoom land, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll see if we can't get you through.
Thank you. Why don't you go ahead, Randy?
Hey, good afternoon. My name's Randy Wilk from the Oaks, and I'm making up for lost time since I haven't been up here on the podium for a while. I have two things. One is we have seen some suspicious activity of people driving by for a continuous 2 weeks. Every day they were doing it. And on the scanner on Facebook, they said that there's squatters that are coming in, moving into people's property if they're vacant. And I don't know if that's something that the sheriff will take up and alert people to. I found it on Facebook. I thought it was better that the sheriff would bring this to our attention. It alarmed our neighbors up in the hills. Fortunately, this person's gone away, but also want to advise people in the Keys to be aware of this because it's possible that this is a true situation. The second point I want to make up is High Valley Road. I understand that Brassfield pays per case so much money to go contribute to the roads. I would like to see other big players like Monte Cristo do the same thing and other developments that happen so that we can keep our roads up. Or maybe they are doing, we just don't know about it, that's all. EJ, if you're listening, thanks.
Thank you, Randy. Is there anyone else that has anything to share before we move on? Okay, I'm going to close public input. Do we have anybody in Zoom? Any Zoom hands before I close it? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we're going to close public input, and we're going to move on to approving the Earth minutes from August 6, 2025.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion carries. All, we all good?
Yes.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Are you
All
gonna
right.
move announcements?
What's that? Are we going to move announcements up? Okay, so we're going to move the announcements from towards the end of the meeting up next. And we're going to have,
Chief Banks. And Chief Banks, we have Chief Banks here. He agreed to come, but we didn't find out until after the agenda was posted. So we're moving announcements up to the beginning of the meeting, and we're going to allow him to come up and talk about, the North Shore Fire District, et cetera, for as long as he needs to.
okay, great. Do we have any announcements to make?
Yeah, there are announcements.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do it afterwards or before? I can do it after.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Shall we have him come
Go
up?
right ahead.
All right, we're going to have Chief Banks come up
Yeah.
to the podium, give us a little presentation. Thank you, Chief Banks.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shannon Banks. I am the interim fire chief for North Shore Fire Protection District. I've been acting in that capacity for the last year, and I was asked to come today to talk to you guys about what's going on in the department. I brought some statistics if you guys are interested in that. I was going to start out with letting you know what our staffing levels look like. Full staffing, we have 8 paramedics and 8 EMT firefighters. Right now, we have 3 paramedic firefighters and 12 EMT firefighters. So, as you can tell, we're kind of filling the gap for the paramedics with EMTs, which for you guys, what that means is if you know the difference between advanced life support and basic life support, 2 of our stations are staffed at a basic level, and 1 station a day is staffed at the advanced level. That's due to a lot of different things. We have a hard time keeping people around because our salaries aren't competitive. We bring people in, new firefighter EMTs, get them trained up, and a lot of times they go looking for more lucrative jobs elsewhere. So we're constantly recruiting, constantly hiring since I've been here. And we're going to continue to do that to try and keep the stations all staffed as much as we can. With news, we do have a fundraiser scheduled for November. The Volunteer Association is going to be hosting a poker tournament. We got the idea from Potter Valley Fire Department. They do really well with theirs, so we were going to give it a try. I believe they're going to have it at the event center in Nice. There'll be more on our website if you guys want to get any information on that. We recently hired a battalion chief, which is good because I've been doing all the chief duties myself for the last year since the current chief is on extended medical leave. So I got some help. That's been good. And we've had an influx. You know, we've been hiring folks and folks leave. So we've been keeping the positions filled, just not with a lot of continuity, if that makes sense. As far as call volume, we had 1,309 calls so far this year of the EMS nature and 647 fire calls year to date. So that's including mutual aid to our cooperators and local fires. That only counts the EMS and fire calls. That doesn't count the transports, lift assists, all the other little calls we go on. I think the number I looked at this morning was somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 calls so far this year. So we've been busy and we've been short-staffed. We're doing the best we can. We're trying to get you guys as fast as we can when you call. And yeah, that's about it. Is there any questions? I figured you might have one. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Sterling. I gotta say it again. So my question to you is, there is word in Spring Valley that the director from Special Districts is asking for the fire department to find water sources other than our source to fight fires. So that's my first question. My second question is, doesn't Special Districts have to get a permit to remove the fire hydrants, and doesn't that have to go through some like CAL FIRE or through you guys or through the state fire chief?
So the second question, I can't really speak to that.
Okay.
I thought CAL FIRE was going to be here. There's nobody here from CAL FIRE, but yeah, as far as what kind of permits they need to have, I don't have any idea.
Okay.
Have we been asked to look for alternative water sources? Yeah, we have, and not just from Spring Valley, from the entire county. The Board of Supervisors. EJ, what's the committee that was asking us to find alternative water sources for catastrophic fires? We've just been through a few meetings. I can't think of the name of the committee right now.
Risk Reduction Authority, but it was the water purveyor side.
So I think a lot of this stemmed from what happened in the Palisades. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the big fire that blew through the Palisades, and it overtaxed their water system. So people by nature are reactive, right? So something bad happened somewhere else, so we need to come up with a plan for that to happen here. So yeah, the county has asked us to find alternative water sources, or not sources, but methods to deliver water to fires, which drawn out of the lake, drawn out of creeks, that sort of thing. And we have come up with some plans. As far as North Shore anyways, we set up one of our utility trucks with a pumpkin and a pump and extra hose. So if we went out to Spring Valley, hopefully we could find a water source and set up a pumping station and for large fires.
So my concern though is if you have to go to we have fire hydrants everywhere. On my block, I have 2. Sorry, I have 2. So if you guys were having to set up, basically you would set up in the campground because that's where the major water source is. The creek runs right through there. You guys can set it up, pump right out of there. But you guys are going to have to leave a structure fire and drive down there, pump up water, and then go back to that street to fight that structure fire that could potentially burn down the whole entire neighborhood. That is a concern of us in Spring Valley. As everybody's well known, Spring Valley has been hit pretty significantly by fires for like 7 years straight. I mean, we got hit by the Pawnee fire, and then right after that, we got hit by the Mendocino complex fire, which we lost homes in both of those in the back of the valley. So
I was on both those fires. yeah.
Okay, so then you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So our concern is, as a community of Spring Valley, if you have to fight these fires, are you guys just gonna say, oh, well, they told us to go down here, we have to go down there to get the water to come back to fight the fire here, and by the time you go and get back, the whole neighborhood can be completely burned down?
Well, we show up to fires with water, right? Our engines have anywhere from 600 to 1,000 gallons in them already. And, yeah, we have 2 engines sitting at the fire station in Spring Valley that are full of water. And we have mutual aid resources coming from Clear Lake. We have mutual aid coming from all over the county. So, I mean, I think the bigger problem is the delayed response time, honestly, if you're talking about a structure fire.
I'm talking about a wildland fire that moves into the structure fire, because we all know how wildland fires work around here, and once one house burns and you have that wind, that amber goes to the next house, now you have that house on fire, that amber goes to the next house, that house is on fire, that amber hits this grassy field, and now this person's house is on fire, and now you guys are instructed to go down there.
So you're talking about like catastrophic fires?
I'm talking about, yeah.
So I can just be very clear that nobody's water system is set up to support catastrophic fires anywhere. Clearly in LA, it didn't work. What happens is you've got so many different engines pulling off fire hydrants. You got homeowners working their garden hoses. You got sprinkler systems going off. Nobody's water system is set up to sustain catastrophic fires.
I
It's
know,
just-
but
it just
my
isn't out there.
question is, are you guys gonna leave, when your trucks run out of water, are you gonna leave that neighborhood, go to the water source, go get the water source out of the campground, then come back? Or are you guys going to fight that fire and just hook straight to those fire hydrants and start working that fire?
If there's a fire hydrant, we're going to use it.
Thank you, that's what I want to
Yeah.
confirm, thank you.
Yes. If it's got a lock on it, we'll cut it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Steve Robin with follow-up. So would it, ideas of alternate water sources, have you looked at possible large water tanks in these areas like Spring Valley? Give you a huge volume of water that you can tap into immediately that's localized there or in strategic spots?
We haven't as the fire department, but that would be a good thing to look into from the homeowner's perspective, the homeowners association, whatever you guys have out there. I know.
Well, I mean, like, one, you need a huge volume of water that's gravity fed during these events because oftentimes power's out and things like that. Then there goes, where
Yeah,
you
there's
getting
so
this
many things
pump?
that go into this question that it's so open-ended. We could talk about it all night.
Yeah.
But yes, having a water source, swimming pools are something that we use, when we go to a fire. If somebody's got a swimming pool, we're gonna drop our pumps in it and use the water out of their swimming pool, We're gonna use whatever water's available to us. So if you did have a gravity-fed water tank, a big one that was known about, and we could use it, we would definitely use it. And something that the Fire Chiefs Association has been working on, Willie Cepeda, the chief for Lake County Fire, has made contacts with Shannon Ranches and the Suhans Ranch in Upper Lake, and they both have large agricultural pumps that they're going to donate to the Chiefs Association, and this is still in the planning phase. It's not, we don't have possession of them yet, but the plan is to have one of them on that end of the lake and then one of them on this end of the lake, so that if we do have a catastrophic fire, we could put the big pump into the lake or Indian Valley Reservoir, wherever the fire is, and have an unlimited source of water. So that's one of the plans that we're working on. It's not complete yet, but it's being worked on.
Chuck Lamb, curious, are you a proponent of early warning siren systems in the communities? And if so, I mean, do you
This is
consider
one
that
right now.
really important? There you go.
Early warning systems, are you talking about like audible
Siren
alarm
systems, yeah.
sirens. I mean, they used to use them. Jim remembers when he was a fire chief, Lucerne used to have one. I think Clear Lake, or the Oaks had one too, right? Yeah. That used to be how we hailed our firefighters to come in, you know, volunteers and whatnot. Now we all have smartphones and computer programs that tell us where the fires are. We have cameras all over the place that we could look at to see. Yeah, I think it's the same thing though, really. It's kind of old technology. I think the way they do it now is pretty effective. I don't know if you agree or not, but there's lots of apps
Talking
out
about watch duty and.
Watch Duty's a great one. It's very accurate. They usually update it every couple of minutes during a fire.
People turn their cell phones off at night, so, and fire lights up coming down the hill. The whole point of outdoor warning sirens is that you notify, get people's attention, you get everybody's attention, hey, you know, and this immediately evacuate, right? And you get their attention to turn on their phones, turn on their TVs or whatever, right? Radios. But that's the whole point of these things, and sometimes you do have to step back into and rely on the older technology to get people's attention
I don't
to turn on the
disagree with
new
you.
technology.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't think it's a bad idea. Is that what the question is? If I,
Yeah, well, I guess the question would be, do you feel that that would help your efforts in evacuations? In other words, you either have them or you don't. And if you had them, and as an early warning detection system, people are going to know, they're going to hear a siren, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a problem out there. I remember waking up one time, there was a fire right across the lake. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up to make some coffee, opened up the blinds in my bedroom, and looked out, and the whole side of the lake was on fire. This was back where the Sulphur Bank fire was. And, it was just really, really alarming. And there was I didn't hear any sirens. I saw fire engines go by, but I didn't hear any sirens.
how long ago
flashing lights.
was this?
Oh, that was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, so they're using the new technology. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea because I guess there is folks out there that turn their cell phones off at night. I've never had that privilege to be able to turn my cell phone off at night, but I don't know too many people that do. But I guess there is folks out there that do, and an alarm system would
Yeah,
help.
and then there was a problem, there's a lot of deaf people in Lake County, a lot of deaf people.
Mhm.
So that becomes an issue. You know, how do you deal with that? You know, in other words, if you've got an early warning sirens, how do the hard of hearing people get alerted to the early warning detection? So there's issues hurdles to
Yeah.
get around for that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know the answer to the
I just want to say,
notifying the hearing impaired, but
I want to say thank you for everything you and your department is doing.
yep, you bet.
So, Chief Banks, so I was just curious if there's anything that we as community members can do to make things easier for you on the North Shore. You know,
That's a loaded question.
well, I mean, it helps to hear.
Only call 911 when you need it. No, really, we do get a lot of nuisance calls, and when I say nuisance calls, I mean calls that shouldn't require 911 services. We as spread thin as we are, if you're going to a call for somebody who has, back pain, we get those all the time. That's just an example. And now we've got all of our resources helping somebody who has a sore back, and then a vehicle accident happens on Highway 20. Our resources are thin. So, yeah, only using the 911 system when it's actually needed would be a huge help.
Yeah, I have something to say about that.
That might be
When you
helpful.
talk about the use of 911, in all the years I was in the fire service, and Shannon's been in the fire service, like he said, they get a sore finger at 5 o'clock in the morning and they call up because they want to go to the hospital to get a free ride. Um, and they go right into the emergency room and get taken care of when in due course. But like he said though, in the meantime, you're tying up all of our equipment, our guys that are working, and if something else breaks, then you gotta start calling in other people from other districts. And that's why every once in a while you'll see Lake County Fire coming in with their ambulance, or we're going to Lake County Fire with our ambulance because they're overloaded. On the other hand, with the water and the fires, like in Spring Valley and stuff, you'll find if you watch your phones, I don't know how many of you got Flight Tender and all that stuff, but those air tankers have been on it. I mean, they're usually in the air from Ukiah in about, what, 15 minutes? Dropping. That's why they've been holding these fires real well. And we also have a CAL FIRE station in the Oaks that's manned 24/7 all year. So it gives us an extra piece of equipment in there. Thank you.
Yeah, quite frankly, especially down on this end of the lake, if we didn't have help from CAL FIRE, we would be a lot more spread thin. With CAL FIRE being there, it almost doubles our workforce. Just with their one station, they have almost as many folks at their one station as we have at all three of ours. So, and they're nice enough. We have mutual aid agreements for fires, but they come help us with traffic accidents. They help us with medical aids. They help, if they're sitting in their station and we get toned out to a call, they're coming, and they don't have to do that. They do that because they want to, and I think they should be recognized for that. If that station ever went away, it would double our workload.
Also, Shannon, you might give a little thing about our fuel crews.
Yeah, so are you guys aware of the fuel crew that we have on North Shore? The Chief Ciancio started it 4 years ago, I think. And it's 100% grant funded. So I get phone calls from folks all the time. They want our crew to come out and cut the grass at their neighbors' lot. You know, a lot of you folks probably have vacant lots as neighbors. I know it's pretty prevalent over here. So they call us up and they want us to send our fuels crew over there to take care of it. Well, we can't do that. For one, it's trespassing. And for two, the crew, the North Shore Fire Protection District doesn't have the funds to support the crew. The crew is here based 100% on grant money. So they're doing work around all around the county. I've had that question too. How come the fuels crew is never on the North Shore? It's the North Shore Fuels Crew. Well, they go where the paying work is, right? And all of you folks are empowered to call Clerk or go on their website. Are you guys familiar with Clerk? No. It's a nonprofit organization that does fuels reduction work. They're the custodian of our grant money. So you could call them, and if you have a pile of debris that you want chipped, they'll put you on the schedule, and when there's enough jobs in your area, then the crew will come through and chip your piles for you free of charge. They get paid out of the federal grants, and that's the route that you have to go with them. Unless the only other way we've done it is if there's big jobs with folks that have money and they'll pay the crew's wages for the day. But I don't think anybody wants to do that. It's pretty expensive.
No, actually, so it's Clear Lake Environmental Research Center, so
Yep.
it's clerc.org is where you go to it, but we will put a link onto the website.
Yep. Yeah, you call them up and give them your address and what you have for a project, and they'll put you on the list.
So Chief Banks, do they have funding right now? Because we've been trying to get Clerk out to our area for quite some time now. It's been 2 months.
What's your area?
Route and Double Eagle.
Okay.
And we've been trying to, the POA out there has been trying to get Clerk with the fuels reduction crew out there to help us maintain the sides of our ingress and egress on the main road. And we've had little success in getting in contact with them.
Little success in contacting them, or
yeah, I have not been able to get in contact with them. I've left messages, So I'll try again. I just didn't know if there was any, maybe they ran out of grant funding, but
No, they're funding, so it was paused for a bit, as you know, with the new, what's the word I'm looking for? The new president.
New
and his-
administration, yeah.
Administration, that's the word I'm looking for. The new administration came in and paused all federal grant funding for a while, but all that stuff's opened back up.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep reaching out and we'll get you guys out there.
Yeah, I don't know what the best course is for getting a hold of them, if
Yeah.
it's on their website or if it's on the phone. I would guess probably their website.
Okay. And then, just to touch back on the sirens, the reason I do feel the sirens are a good idea is because anything past the roundabout right here, east.
There's no
is-
cell service.
No cell service,
Right.
correct. Hit and miss, depending on where you're at. If you have a clear line of sight to Mount Kanata, you have good cell phone service. But other than that, you get into some of those valleys and you have nothing. I was heading home one night from here and came around a turn and there was a vehicle engulfed in flames on the highway. So that was a little nerve-wracking. So the sirens, I think, are a good idea in areas east of the roundabout here. Maybe if we can work together with EJ and try to get something going. Steve has some information on it too.
Yeah, I don't think they're a bad idea. I think if you talk to 100 people, you probably find 75 different views on that. Just because, you know, some people want to be alerted, some people want to be evacuated, some people don't. You know, we're just scaring people. You know, I've heard it all, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, especially, like I said, in areas where we know there's no cell phone service, right? We know we have cell phone service around here where push notifications work well. But when you get out farther out into the hills, especially people spending the weekend at Indian Valley Reservoir, right? They have no idea, no phones work out there. And then just out of curiosity, do you guys maintain a list of available water sources? Like, let's say if I was to put a 5,000-gallon water tank on my property, can I call you and tell you, here's a tank that you guys can use if you need it? Do you maintain a list like that?
Yeah, yes, we do. People call all the time with gate codes. If you got a locked gate and a quarter-mile driveway, it's a good idea to call your fire district and let them know what the combo is. Same with water sources. If you've got an LZ, a landing zone for a helicopter, that's a good thing to know too. Or if you think you do, you know, we could come out and look at it and tell you if you do or not. Because that's an issue around here too, because most folks in vehicle accidents around here get flown out, right? Because we don't have a level 1 trauma center anywhere in the county. So 9 out of 10 vehicle accidents we have in the county, somebody's getting flown out. So the more LZs we could have, the better. The more water sources we have, the better. Yeah, and if you call us and tell us, I've got a 10,000-gallon water tank on my property I'd like to let you guys know about, we would definitely make a note of that.
Okay, yeah, and if anytime you want to come out and take a look at landing zones, I probably have one.
At Double Eagle?
Yes, I have one on my property. You guys did use across the street from me as a staging area before, so yeah, more than welcome.
Yeah, all that stuff we'll take into account and build it into our pre-fire plans.
Okay.
Along that vein, what's the area for the North Shore Fire District?
I'm sorry.
What's the area for the North Shore Fire
Oh.
District? What's your look, you know?
That's a good question. So it's basically county line to county line. So Mendocino County line to Colusa County line, and then to Lake Pillsbury to the north. It's I've been told it's the third biggest fire district in the state of California, acreage-wise. Yeah.
We have a question on Zoom.
And the least funded and staffed also.
We have a question on Zoom. Betsy Kahn, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have unmuted. Can you hear me? Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being there. I just want to remind you that Hidden Valley Lake, after the Valley Fire, within months, they had their own siren system up. The people on Cobb decided that they wanted a siren system, and they voted for it. It's been blocked by the sheriff's department in the past, But we have a new sheriff, and I don't think he would object. And I think that sirens are critical for disabled people. I just know too many of them who are in places that don't have, and some of them don't have internet, some of them don't have smartphones, and the earliest that you could let people know, because we know that you're not going to do that frivolously. It would not be done, you know, just because you're on a tear or something. It would be a true catastrophe. So please consider supporting that. If the Earth and Supervisor Crandall can bring it to the Board of Supervisors to fund, then we would appreciate the support from the fire chiefs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Betsy.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, to address Betsy's statement, I could definitely bring that to the Fire Chiefs Association to get their support.
Okay, I have two. Know how to, hello? Okay, so
Can you state your name, please?
My name's Barbara Higman, and I live in the Keys.
Thank you, Barbara.
You were talking about ambulance and bad people calling unnecessary. So do you have a number, and I heard about it once, if someone's fallen down and they just can't get up and you can't get them up, instead of calling 911, isn't there another number? Because it's like I don't need 2 or 3 ambulance and fire department to come pick my husband up off the floor.
I don't know.
They used to have a number, and I
Do you
Do you
just...
know, Jim?
There's the sheriff non-emergency dispatch number, that's 24
But they're
hours.
probably going to call us.
Because, you know, it's like we have a lot of that happening. It's like we don't need everybody out there, but we need help with somebody. Either they've fallen on the street or they've fallen in their house. And I just feel like that should be, we should have somebody to call beside the whole and I've had the fire department at my house before, way back, and they just helped me pick my husband up and make sure he's okay, but I had 3 ambulance, fire department, I had everybody in front of my house.
Yeah, I don't, there's a lot of.
You get a lot of those kind of calls, I bet.
We get them every single day, yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple times a day. Those aren't really the ones I'm speaking of.
Okay.
I think that's a necessary call.
Yeah, but
And the reason you get the response that you get is because we don't know why the person fell down.
Okay.
Right? They could have had a heart
Yeah.
attack. They could have broke their back. You know, so you're going to get
But the fire department too?
you're going to get a full response,
Okay.
a full medical response.
I
for
always
the-
just thought that was excessive, and then I'm wasting everybody's time and money.
Yeah, no, the calls like Jim referred to as, you know, a hurt finger, a sore back,
And then the other
a headache.
We've
We've
yeah,
gone to-
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And the other question is, we have so many homeless people that are on a lot of drugs and stuff. You see them laying in the street. Do you guys respond to a lot of homeless people and take them in, fly them in? Do you get a lot of those kind of calls too?
Yeah, we get our share.
So like,
a lot of them,
I'll see somebody in the street, and this only happened to me one time, that, you know, I managed to get that person out of the street, and he was probably on drugs and knocked out and stuff. So I should call 911. Should I or should I not?
if there's someone laying in the street,
Yeah,
yeah, I think so.
okay, because we see a lot of that. And so-
Yeah, and in my first few months working here, we had 3 homeless people
Only 3?
got hit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On the highway, on Highway 20, yeah.
Yeah,
It-
because
it happens a
I
lot.
see a lot of that, or I'll see them just sitting on the curb with their heads laying down like they're dying, and I just want to stop and help them, but I don't, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times we
Is that
get
a
there and they-
911 call?
You never know.
You
I
just
mean,
never know.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
times we get there and they tell us, leave me alone, I'm just
Okay.
resting, you know, or it could be a real emergency.
Yeah,
We
you just don't
You don't
know.
know until you get there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really would like to see if I can find an answer of not having to have the full force come out to help pick somebody up that's
I
falling
think
down.
the what would help is the better details you give to the dispatcher that you talk
Right.
to on the phone is going to give us better information of what we're expecting when we
Okay.
get there.
'Cause I-
And we'll
yeah.
adjust our response
Okay.
based on the information that comes from the reporting party.
The reporting party, because more than likely it's,
The more details you can give, the better.
Okay.
Hey, he just slipped out of his bed, there's nothing wrong with him,
okay,
you know, then you might only get 1 ambulance. you know.
okay, okay, good to know.
We have another question on Zoom. Betsy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. I would like everybody to know that the Lake Area Planning Council has published its draft evacuation and preparedness plan for the county of Lake. You can go to the website, which is www.lakeapc.org. It's on the bottom left-hand corner of the website, and you just click on that. It's about 40, maybe 75 pages, but it tells you everything about what different agencies do at certain points in the situation, and it gives you a really good understanding. And there's also evacuation routes that are maps that they provided on page 40, and you can take a look and see what the whole county is doing in collaboration with all the agencies under the operational area council for the
I just wanted to state that that's one thing that John Spica asked us to let all of you know. So all the information that Betsy just spoke about is on the Earth website. You can go there and get that. And they do want feedback on their draft evacuation plan. They have two public review sessions that are coming up. One September 10th at 5:30 at Clear Lake City Hall, and one September 11th at 5:30 at the Lakeport City Hall.
And it's also being done on Zoom for those 2 dates. We did post it on the Facebook page as well, so Sterling, that's a good, for the bridge, right? Yeah, and then Chief Banks, if you want to send us your flyer for the poker tournament, we'll be happy to put it on our website, our Facebook page. We'll get the word out about it. Get some more support for that for you.
Great, thank you. And we're also going to be doing open houses. We don't have the dates scheduled yet, but during Fire Prevention Week, we're going to do an open house event at each of our firehouses.
Okay, wonderful. If you want to pass that information on, we'll send it out to our email list and out to the residents and put it on our social media and stuff like that for you too.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so I noticed you took notes that you were going to take back with the prior question for the help with the sirens. Is there a way that we can get you guys, the fire chiefs and the head fire chief of Lake County, to help us and support? Obviously, you understand the safety concerns of the only one way in and one way out of Spring Valley. I know that there could be some, they say, oh, you can cross it during the summer times. That is literally impossible. Not even four-wheel drive trucks can get through there. The creek has been eroded so much. I would like to know what your guys' concern is, if, maybe getting that on the agenda at the Board of Supervisors meeting. Maybe you can get support from the other fire chiefs in the county, because if we had to evacuate Spring Valley, you got you guys coming in one lane and you got everybody at single line files going out that. We could use at least Old Long Valley to where we can double people up, get them out, or double them up on New Long Valley, and you guys can come in through Old Long Valley to where it's not like a traffic jam where you have everybody sitting on New Long Valley trying to get out and say, okay, the spot fire is now at the beginning and now you have these people trapped on the road. What are you going to do?
So the bridge across the creek, I don't think that's an issue for the Fire Chiefs Association, just because it's a county roads project and they're quite frankly not going to listen to much of what we have to say. That it's been a long time issue. I mean, that's not a new thing. That creek's been.
There used to be a bridge there, it blew out and it's never been put back.
But how long ago?
I believe probably about maybe 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer. But there used to be.
So I don't know all the issues with why they don't put a bridge in there, but I know there are issues, land easement issues or something like that. But that's a county roads question. I don't. Absolutely. If they put a bridge in there, that would make me happy, because 2 ways in is always better than 1 way in. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Chief
Okay.
Banks, is there any other things you want to conclude with?
No, thanks for having me. It's nice to chat with all you folks. If you have any more questions, let me know.
And please feel free, if you have, anything in the future, to give us a call, and we'll get you on the agenda.
Yeah, and anytime you guys have something that you want to talk about, just reach out to me and I'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We appreciate you
you.
being here.
We got more announcements? Just do announcements. Yeah.
We have some more announcements?
I have one. So they're doing, on September 20th, Lake County Water Resources is doing a coastal cleanup day. They're gonna have check-in locations at Highland Springs, Library Park, Rodman Slough, Lucerne Harbor, Austin Park, Kelsey Creek and Kelseyville, and Middletown Square. Then they're gonna have to, after the cleanup, they're gonna have a barbecue at Highland Springs and a raffle. So if anybody wants to get involved with that, get signed up, you can contact Linda Rosas Bill at Water Resources. We've also posted it, I don't know if it's on the website yet, but it's on our Facebook page. So if anybody wants to join for that, that's on September 20th.
Also, John Spica said that the draft Regional Active Transportation Plan, which he gave a presentation on last year, is now available. There's a link on the Earth website. You can go in and take a survey. Also, both the evacuation plan and the active transportation plan, there's flyers up on the table with QR code if you want to take a photo of that. So they need feedback. Also, Lake County is putting together a climate adaptation plan. They're interested in your thoughts on climate vulnerability analysis findings. There's a short survey on the lakecounty2050.org website, and CDD will be making a presentation on this at the Earth October meeting. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements? Good. Okay, we're going to move on to Earth business, update and consideration of Earth activities, projects, discussions on subcommittees.
Okay, so I brought this up before about creating a subcommittee for the Earth land use, calling it the Land Use Subcommittee, which would, its main purpose would be to ensure the details of potential projects in the East region are disclosed to the public in a timely manner, consistent with the shoreline area plan, existing zoning, and Earth goals. Where necessary, appropriate mitigations are implemented. Ensure rezones are in compliance with the shoreline area plan and Earth goals. I think what we wrote up a draft, and it's a standing committee, would be consisting of 1 or 2 members of the Earth Council, with 1 to 2 members of the public added if necessary. And the committee would meet as needed for new and ongoing projects. And then we just reviewing projects get included on what they call the RFR, which is a request for review list. Obtain documents for major and minor use permits and rezones. Prepare response letters. Letters will be presented at the Earth meeting for discussion and potential approval if the meeting falls within the review time frame. If there's no Earth meeting within the submission time frame, we would circulate it to the Earth Council for potential approval, then post it and announce it at the next Earth meeting. And then ongoing tasks would be like encouraging property owners to present proposed plans at Earth meetings early on in the process, following up with conditions of use to ensure that they've been fulfilled, following up on annual reports and inspections if required, submitting public record requests as needed, submit code enforcement violations for projects not fulfilling their conditions, and working with the Planning Commission to implement review of conditions of use reports and inspections. We get a lot of complaints too about code enforcement, so this is where we would work with code enforcement. We can take these issues to them. So that's what I have on creating the Land Use Committee proposal. And because we do have a lot of projects that are coming into the area, and they need to be reviewed.
Well, we already have one volunteer for that committee. That would be Lori Correa. She's excited about that one.
All right. Well, and I'm willing to, I already do it, so.
I already do it too.
Yeah.
Great.
And Steve says he would, Steve's raising his hand back there too.
Great.
So,
So are there any comments on this, any suggestions or thoughts on this? All right, how many, raise your hand if you think it's a good idea. Okay. It's up on the, yeah. It's actually, I just have one up there, maybe you can take a photo of it, et cetera. Yeah, and then give us any feedback on that, but.
So we have a Zoom participant. Guess, and Donna, you want me to volunteer you. Donna Makowicz, I believe is how you say it.
Donna, okay.
Yeah, she said she would like to be on the land use committee subcommittee.
okay.
So I volunteered you, Donna.
Or Donna and Steve.
I haven't posted
we haven't posted it yet.
because we just finished it off. So there's a copy over there. Maybe you can take a photo of it, but I will get it up on the website.
And we'll get it up on the Facebook too.
This is a really important committee because these projects are very large at times. There's a lot of documentation to go through, and we really want to bring forth comprehensive comments and suggestions to the Planning Commission so they can incorporate our information when we're planning these projects. It's a vital step for the California Environmental Quality Act to have our comments incorporated into these projects before they get approved. So we really do need extra eyes on these projects because there's a lot of them and there's a lot of paperwork around them. And so those of us who have been working with them are doing what we can to present things to the Planning Commission and make them aware of these issues, but it's really helpful to have other people in the community looking at these also. So I think this is a great idea, and I thank you for putting the proposal together.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing is too, we're going through the general plan and local area plan review right now. Excuse me. And so one of the things that they tell people is if you have a rezone, now's the time to bring it forward. So we're anticipating there's going to be some people bringing rezones in that'll need to be reviewed, rezoning of parcels in the Clear Lake Oaks area. So,
So do we have to
So I
make a
don't-
motion or something
do-
on this? Do we have to make a motion,
Either.
Supervisor Crandall?
To
Our
create a
land use
subcommittee?
committee.
So-
You
yeah.
do?
Okay.
Well,
So then,
I make a motion that we enact the proposal.
okay. I
And
second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Okay.
Motion passes.
But we'd appreciate, we will get this up, and we'd appreciate any feedback for fine tuning it, you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be on the committee, but do want information about these projects, please let us know, and we can get information to you.
Right, we're gonna, well, we'll set it up, so who are gonna be the two Earth members, myself and, okay. So Holly and I will get everything dialed in, and then we'll reach out to the people that wanna volunteer and get the ball going.
But it also could be that, you know, there are different community members that are only interested in certain areas or certain projects, and so that would, you know, we'd look at it that way too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually had one more thing on that. So Supervisor Crandall, when, you know, last time we had Sonoma Clean Power here, and obviously Sonoma Clean Power was at the Board of Supervisors. And when they were at the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Owen requested feedback from the communities on the idea of teaming up with Sonoma Clean Power, and then requested that Sonoma Clean Power visit all of the municipal area councils. So should Earth be sending in a letter to the board outlining our pros and cons on Sonoma Clean Power? Okay. So then what we will do is we will put something together and I'm assuming that we could bring it back for the October meeting, since don't believe you need to have a decision till October 30th. Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll put together some pros and cons, and feel free to email us with some of the things that you feel about. If you feel that you do want to have this aggregate choice, the way I look at it, I think the aggregate choice is a great idea. The price may be higher, but oftentimes will be lower, and they are a nonprofit. On the opposite side, they're going to tie us into requiring us to develop our geothermal energy, here. There is a time frame that one needs to be part of this power plan, and if you opt out earlier, it could be anywhere from $10 million to $100 million that the county would need to pay back to Sonoma Clean Power. So there are a lot of issues there, but please feel free to email us with any of your thoughts.
Okay, are we moving on? All right. Now we're going to have the District 3 MAC update,
Okay.
D3 survey results, and discussion on potential projects and activities to date.
Okay, so on each of the tables, I left a copy of the results of the District 3 Community Survey. These are the ones that are more focused towards the Earth area, but in general, the stats are pretty much the same across, and basically we were looking at Earth, Surth, and Worth. And the top 3 issues that came up are public safety issues, code enforcement, and the negative image of the North Shore. These are all pretty similar, actually. So there are things like, and then on the second 2 pages, we have a long list of suggestions that people made for new projects, issues that they felt needed to be dealt with, et cetera. So anyway, we've started compiling these things together. On the first page, you'll see our initial list in each of the areas, and under negative image of the North Shore, one of the options is a mobile vet services. Basically, what it comes down to is, of the top 3 things here, we have 3 areas that we're dealing with. It's law enforcement, it's code enforcement, and it's animal control. And almost everything that we have there falls under those 3 purviews. One of the issues right now is, I believe we still do not have an animal control director. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of a bit up in the air. Some of the other things that we put in that were requested were more free dump days, RV boat, and car disposal, abating older dilapidated homes, the warning sirens, hazardous overgrown vegetation, et cetera. And under social issues was rent stabilization. So basically, what I am requesting the community do is take a look, and these are posted on the website, but take a look at those first 3 areas: public safety, code enforcement, and the negative image of the North Shore. And think about that, and think about any specific projects that you feel that we could implement. And once we get a list of these projects, we're going to go through and we're going to rank them based on how quickly how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost. Is this easy, low-hanging fruit, or is this a long-term thing? And we'll come up with some basic projects. Right now, I do know that Lars in Public Services is looking into universal garbage collection as an option, and I believe that he's looking at Clear Lake Oaks community boundary. Have you heard anything more about that? Okay, I'll ask him. Okay. So with that in mind, and the fact that we don't have an animal control director at the moment, what I was going to suggest is that maybe we ask Sheriff Bingham and Marcus Beltramo of Code Enforcement to come to the November meeting to discuss all these things with us. We are fully booked up for October. Otherwise, I would have asked about October, because we have Special Districts Robin Borey showing up for that, plus the climate analysis. So anyway, if everybody agrees, I will see if I can get Sheriff Bingham and Code Enforcement to come to discuss with us these issues and what we can do. Try to brainstorm things, to be proactive. Okay. Raise hands. Everyone agree? Okay. 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 Okay, so that's all I had there unless, one thing I did want to say though. And I did just mention this to Supervisor Crandall, but every year the county comes out with something called I think it's Lake Life Destination Magazine. They've been coming out with it for decades. And this whole negative image of the North Shore, in a way, it's a little bit exacerbated by this magazine because it has the magazine. It's put out by the Chamber of Commerce, and there are 20,000 copies that are sent out. And it talks about trails and all sorts of different things, wine tasting, whatever. But they have a whole thing which is our communities, and they have almost every single town in Lake County in that thing, except when it comes to us, we're called North Shore. And then in little parentheses, it's Clear Lake Oaks, Glen Haven, Lucerne, and Nice. And it says, drive by and look at the lake. And that's it. So it's not really helping the image of it. So I will reach out to the Chamber of Commerce and Brian with the TID, the Tourism Improvement District, and ask how we can have better. We used to, because every year I used to write it. There would be an article on Clear Lake Oaks, about Clark's Island or Nylander Park or the boat ramp or something like that. So anyway, that's all I had to say about that.
Thank you. I saw that in the magazine. Slick. Okay, so moving on, we're going to get the commercial cannabis report and the lack of the cannabis ordinance update.
Okay. Okay, so we mentioned this before, but we reviewed the annual inspection reports for the 8 permitted cannabis projects in the Earth area. We got these through Public Records Act request, filed in late June and then again in late July of this year. We asked for 2024 and 2025 inspection reports, 2024 annual reports, including water usage complaints, and initial summary reports, which are required, ascertaining that the conditions of use for this use permit have been fulfilled. So based on the results, we have concerns as follows. In terms of annual inspections are done each year by CDD staff. The list of violations is extensive, ranging from minor to major, and it's not clear if any penalties are imposed. Compliance appears to be established via photographs, regardless of severity. Yet in some cases, it seems to extend from year to year. So basically, of the 8 sites, there were about 58 violations in the 8 sites. And as I said, some of them are very minor and some of them are major. So I've loosely put them together into different areas, and one of which is fire suppression and hazards. So 6 of them have no Knox boxes or any of the coupling, the fire hose couplings that you can, I don't know what you call it, 2.5-inch fire hose couplings installed. There were 6 last year and 6 this year, so nobody's installed them. That's a problem, I feel. It's required. Address not posted, 6 of them. Burn piles of cannabis waste not contained. Needs containment for oils and fuels, burn piles, and hazardous and open storage. So basically, I guess and this is just for 8 in our area out of 150 in the county. So I guess I would ask, Chief Banks for some help in getting some of these things looked at, or putting some pressure on CDD to put pressure on these people to get these things mitigated. Then in terms of security, lack of security systems, camera and live feed, 4. Lack of background checks, 2. Missing IDs, no lock on gate, and 5 of them had lack of plant tags. It's required that all the plants be tagged. As a matter of fact, in one of the reports, they said that there were 140,000 plants that were not tagged, and they were expecting to be harvested in a week. Environmental includes soil storage containment, well meters not working, half of them. Erosion control and pest management needed. Then in terms of general violations, no ADA parking or restrooms, no record retention on site, lack of building or air quality control permits, no restrooms, unpermitted hoop houses, unpermitted storage, electrical and processing. Needed farm worker safety practices need to be implemented, license not displayed. No electricity to building with restroom and RVs on site. So, this is an issue. We have a lot of things here that are not being looked at. In terms of conditions of use, which are imposed on the project when the Planning Commission approves the permit, the compliance is required via a summary response. We requested them. There were 0 of 8 initial summary responses available. There did not appear to be any attempt by CDD to obtain the documents, and we were told that by CDD that as far as they're concerned, the fact that the applicant signs these conditions of use the day they get the permit means that they know they're supposed to be doing it, and that's that. Okay, in terms of annual reports. Annual reports are required in the ordinance to be reviewed by the Planning Commission, unless the Planning Commission designates it to someone else. At the October 22nd, 2020 meeting, the Planning Commission requested that they be able to look at these annual reports, but not one has been brought to date in front of the Planning Commission. We estimate, based on what they said, that the number of reports available during the 2020 to 2024 4-year time frame is about 400 reports that have information. Next thing is water usage reports. The required water usage reports are not being analyzed, and they're not being used to judge cumulative impacts of projects. There's no consequence to using more water than projected, which in some cases is double the amount. We reviewed the 2024 water usage for the 8 projects in this area. 2 of them were not in operation last year, so that leaves 6. One of them didn't report any. One of them had a discrepancy. They said they didn't cultivate, but they used 100% of the water. One of them used less water than projected based on the cultivation square footage, and 3 of them used more water than projected, ranging anywhere from 143% to 194% to 775% of what they had projected they would be using. The estimated number of water usage reports, which should have been available for us to use, is about 400. So we have a lot of data here that we could be using, and it's just not happening. Code enforcement appears to become involved only at the request of CDD staff. That's basically all that I have to say here. One of the things that I was going to propose is that Earth requests that the PC review these reports. I don't know if you have any feedback on this or not.
Well, and just to piggyback off what Holly is saying, the items like the knock boxes, the 2.5-inch coupling for fire suppression, posting the address, all of these are conditions that they agreed to when they got their permit. So all of this should have been done before anything was done on the property. So for these permits to just they're able to cultivate year after year, but still not hold up what they were supposed to do in their initial permitting process is the issue. And, lack of background checks. So that's the thing. All of this should have been in place before anything, even before the permits started getting used. So, go ahead. Tom.
Yeah, hi, Tom Lasik. Question, Holly, you read something about CDD, maybe I misheard it. CDD said that if they sign it, that's all they need to do. Can you explain that?
Yes, when I first went back to them it was exactly a year ago, and asked them for the initial summary responses, which are required in writing in the conditions of use. They went and the planner went and spoke to somebody higher up in CDD and came back and said, as far as CDD is concerned, the conditions of use are by them signing that condition of use, it shows that they know they are supposed to be doing that. And I pointed out the fact that it's supposed to be in writing by the applicant, and I got no response. And then we, once again, last October, went to code enforcement on the same thing, and code enforcement, I have in writing, came back and said that is the same thing. The fact that they signed this means that they know they need to fulfill this.
Oh, okay, so they know they need to fulfill it, but
Nobody's verifying.
Yeah.
But nobody's verifying it, and is there an explanation from CDD as to why, even though they signed and know they're supposed to be doing it, that they were allowed to continue, or to
No.
cultivate?
No.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
not okay, but yeah, I understand.
So there's no follow-up and no enforcement. Is that correct?
We don't necessarily know because they don't tell us. Though we do, we did get these things. Some of the things I did follow up on, but I get mixed. I get told one thing one time and then something else another time. I'm not told the same thing. So, and I think part of the problem is that it's a humongous task. The department is very, very overworked. They have a lot going on, and we need to come up with some method to ensure that these conditions are being taken care of before there's a problem. And which is one reason why we came up with the part of what we put together for the Land Use Committee. This would, take care of this every year.
So just to give everybody a little bit of background, in 2020, when they were estimating how much it was costing them to do annual inspections, they were averaging it to cost $95 an hour per staff members, and it was taking 2 staff members an average of 4.5 hours per project. That was back when we had 35 projects. Now, here we are 5 years down the road, and we have 150 in the county. So you can imagine what the cost is to do site inspections.
Well, they charge, I think.
They do
They
charge.
charge like $1,000, yeah.
They do charge for it, but yes,
I-
there's a lot of gray area.
Yeah, so if they're being charged for it, then it should be self-funding. But I had just 2 follow-on questions. One is, the stuff that you said they don't share with you, would that be something that the Planning Commission, through the annual report recommendation, would become aware of? To say, hey, we approved Monte Cristo or Lou Farms or
Well,
whatever. These were the conditions of use. Pretend I'm a planning commissioner just for hypothetical, but I could say, well, these were the conditions of use. Have they been followed?
Mhm.
Would that be something the planning commission would normally?
I would assume,
be in
and
their
we as the public could ask them, to do that. Basically, in Supervisor Crandall, you were a planning commissioner once, but basically, you basically swear or certify that a project will not cause any problems based on the mitigations that are found in the CEQA thing. And so because of that, the project passes. But if they don't get done, then that, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
that's the thing, so in the current ordinance, there is no, there's, what am I trying to say? There's no, like, if you do this, there's no limitations, right, in the current ordinance. There is no set, like, here's a fine if you do this, or if you don't do this, you don't get to cultivate. There is no enforcement there's no.
No
yeah.
consequences?
I'm sorry?
You're looking for the word consequences?
Consequences, there we go. Yeah, so there's nothing in the ordinance that says, here's a limitation. If you exceed this, here's the consequence.
Yeah.
There's none of that in the current ordinance,
Well,
so.
the reason I asked about the planning commission is that I've sat in several of them, and very often, the planning commission has been told, you don't have the authority to do that. And I know that at one point, the planning commission did want to see the annual reports, and they were given an answer that implied, at a minimum, that they didn't have the authority to do that. So I'm
It's in the
curious.
ordinance. It's in the ordinance.
I
yeah.
understand, but I just want to
Mhm.
make sure that it's in the ordinance to do the annual report.
And to have it be reviewed by the planning
Have it-
commission
have it
unless
reviewed.
at that meeting, they give it to somebody else.
Okay.
And nobody has.
But
Yeah.
the conditions of use, as far as you understand it, would be part of that review process. If they comply to the conditions of use. In other
What-
words, the annual report would include, or that review would include annual reports, conditions of use, whatever it was that resulted in the decision to
Right,
approve
okay.
the permit?
Yeah, no, I can't totally answer you there, but I think we're getting a little bit too deep into this with a whole lot of these things that are going on. At the moment, we just wanted to bring this up, and I would like to see if Earth wants to request that the Planning Commission review these.
At least look
Yeah,
at the ones in the
absolutely.
Earth
Yeah.
District.
I
Yes.
just have one minor
Because-
question. So you mentioned you looked at 8
Just in
sites?
the Earth area.
So there's only 8 in Earth, or?
No,
there's-
I looked at, I didn't look at any that were 1 acre or less.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Chuck Sterling, did you have a question?
Okay, no, we need to,
Yeah, move on.
let's get on. Are we done with the cannabis then?
Yeah.
We have a code enforcement update?
David, anything?
Oh, one
Oh, wait,
thing.
one more
What
thing.
What about the moratorium?
It's still in the process.
Okay, so they're, I'm still looking at a moratorium on
moratorium.
cannabis permits, a temporary one, maybe in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Oh, code enforcement updates. We had asked Marcus to come here and attend the meeting, and he couldn't, so we sent a list of update requests, which he was going to compile a response to, but he did not send it in. This included the status of open violations, status of cleanup on Stubbs, Mountain View, and Sulphur Bank Drive, the status of gates on Mountain View, availability of upcoming cleanup grants, and issues with OpenGov reporting portal. Hopefully, he will get it to us, and worst case, we'll see if he can be here in November.
All right, great. Spring Valley update? You have one?
The only thing I was going to say is that Administrator Bory said she will be at the October Earth meeting, but I need a list of issues within this week to send to her. Okay, and I did reach out to Cindy and Helen. I had a bad email for Helen, so it bounced. But we would like a list from the CSA, which they meet tonight? Okay, we would like a list from them of the issues that they would like her to, you know, to go through. Also, special districts lighting. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that to you? Is the special districts lighting?
Chuck, that's okay. It's the Zoom, they can't hear you.
Oh, okay. So my question is for you guys as a board, and you guys may be able to vote on it or not, or maybe EJ can put some input on this. Is there a way that we can do that October 2nd meeting at the community center in Spring Valley? So a lot of the community members that can't get rides, can't drive, can actually make that meeting, and they can actually state their concerns and ask their questions directly to Robin, because Robin will not go to Spring Valley because our meetings are at 7. And I'm thinking she's coming here because we start at 4. So if there's a way that we can vote on maybe just moving it to the community center for just October, so then the full community of Spring Valley can actually ask their questions, and she can see the concern of the whole entire valley.
Okay, so that's an interesting comment there. The one thing that I am concerned about is things becoming hostile. You- Right, unless it gets compiled. I'm a little, the one thing I'm concerned about is it just getting, it's a volatile situation, the way I understand it. You know, I haven't been out there to any of the meetings, and I'm a little concerned about it getting, you know, I don't know, what do you?
But if everybody comes here, you're gonna have the same concern here. If everybody comes here, as out there, so no matter what, if you get everybody here, it's gonna be the same situation as Spring Valley at the community center. A lot of the people out there, EJ's heard it, a lot of the older community, they don't
Oh,
know
talk to
technology,
EJ.
they don't have cell
Yeah.
phones, they barely even answer their home phones because it gets so many, those scam calls or telephoners, so I'm just trying to help my community
Sure.
as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we can do is we'll talk with Supervisor Crandall about what the best thing would be. If we can get a list put together, though, because I did tell her I would put something together at the beginning of September, and then we'll make contact with all of that. Okay. Thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah, and then just one other thing on the Spring Valley update. I don't know if people or residents in Spring Valley know there's 3 open seats on the CSA.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to apply.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. So I think they're
We have
they're
a
short
comment from
people, so-
Zoom when you get a
There's a
chance.
Zoom comment.
All right, go for it.
Okay, this is from Donna. Public comment, I think we're backing up a little bit because I didn't see it right away, but she wanted to have this on record. Planning should be reviewing all the cannabis reports, and as Director Turner said in a recent meeting recorded, any projects with violations not corrected timely should have their permits revoked and fined. And then secondly, she wants to thank the Earth Board for looking into this. Her question is, do cannabis operators, applicants use cannabis equity grant funds for fines?
I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't think we got any grant funds this year.
Okay. Hopefully
you.
that answers your question, Donna?
All right, ongoing projects?
Okay, so EPA cleanup. The EPA hired Jacobs Engineering as a subcontractor for the Superfund site cleanup. Jacobs held a virtual small business outreach event on July 30th on upcoming business opportunities at the Mercury Mine cleanup. The Earth sent out press releases and flyers, and there were over 60 local participants. The EPA plans on having a similar such session once the actual cleanup contractor is selected and looking to subaward portions of that job, and this will probably be in 2026. So once we find out about that, we will go out to the Lake County and tell them that there's possible, job opportunities. And that was it. No update on Klaus Park.
And that brings us to Supervisor Crandall's update.
We don't use those grants for fines. It was mainly for like taxes, and I want to say maybe something to do with permit or something like that. There was only a specific few different justifications you could use it for. So, but we don't have any longer. We don't go through those equity
Do you know when
grants.
that ended?
Last year.
Last year? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll go backwards in my notes. You mentioned Robin Bore. She will be out here, like you said, next month. I think it would be key to, like you said, get the questions answered and whatnot, and get whatever you decide. It's your discretion as the advisory board where to have the meeting. So if you want to have it out there, you can call it wherever you desire. They used to be at the fire department. They've been here. If you wanted to have it out there, it's up to you. But either way, having everything prepared and going through in an amicable way with her. I know everyone's frustrated with her, believe me. I've been getting complaints. But then I've actually, luckily, locally, there's been others that have had other experiences with her that are positive. But all in all, the key is, coming forward and bringing all your information and asking your questions and getting what we can on that. Animal control, you mentioned that. We had some interviews for animal control, and it didn't fly well. So it's still Susan Parker is the interim. In the meantime, you were mentioning another thing about earlier. You were talking about committees and whatnot. It might be helpful as well to start scheduling an update to the Board of Supervisors. Worth will be doing one on the 16th, I think it is, before the Board of Supervisors. So it might be something we schedule. I know that Johanna likes to schedule those for each of the town halls to come for us and talk about these things that you're working on, which you all have been working on quite a bit, so you'll have enough to bring forward, especially in light of the Super Mac. That might help to get that discussion out there for them.
Are we gonna get an hour to do an update?
Well, that's Worth asked for a half hour. Johanna said usually it's 15 minutes, but I mean,
Yeah.
if it happens this year, we'll work on, as long as it's going well, we can keep going. I know that there's public comment, and that usually extends anything that we're discussing. So, yeah. So I just wrote this down. North Shore Fuels Crew that you mentioned earlier, Chief, that was, just a little history on that. That was funded initially through the Habemetalel tribe. They started the seed funding for that, and then Supervisor Simon, well, Moak, when he was supervisor, myself and Supervisor Pyska put in some funding for equipment to start that out. They received a grant, was helped by, it was assisted by Clerk, who put together some grant funding. They received some millions of dollars, somewhere in between 1.1 and $2 million or something like that, to work some fuels. But the issue is funding that, when it came to us putting from our discretionary funds, needed to be for the whole county. Even though it's called the Hogback North Shore Fuels Crew, it needed to be something that the whole county benefited from. So that's why it's, I think you mentioned that, Shannon, was that people are asking why it's not just North Shore. That was the reason why, because there was full county funding for that. The rent stabilization ordinance, I know that you mentioned it earlier, Gail. So as a result of that, we have a committee. I just reached out and trying to set that meeting. In the meantime, just to initialize discussion on that internally. We'll see how it goes from there. I know that there's folks that want to help from a community standpoint. So we'll get to that point eventually, but right now I've wanted to see where we can get to. I've got some emails already from one of the staff members, but there's also been calls I've been taking from owners that aren't really happy with it, but it is what it is. And I want to make sure that we get something in place, because there needs to be a protection measure. There's nothing in place right now. Other counties have stabilization ordinance. They have something in place to protect their communities or their seniors for that type of, ordinance or something like that. So Potter Valley project, we're at the point, I'll back up. We actually had a meeting a week and a half ago with the Department of Interior to discuss what we could potentially do when it came to that. I don't know if you all seen, there was a letter that they being the Department of Interior intervened so that they can have comment. It doesn't mean that they're taking it over or anything like that. I've noticed that there's people sending me emails and whatnot saying, oh, awesome, they're taking it. I was like, no, they're just able to comment, but it's helpful, right? If you look on the Facebook, county's been putting out some information about it. I think today, one thing I noticed was they put out a notification talking about the seismic report, and that the actual dam the structure is safe to continue, because that was a big argument before. That's been one of the things that we've accentuated, was all this time they've been saying these specific reasons to decommission, and now we're at the point where all of that wasn't true, but now here we're at the end of the line, and none of that's taken into consideration. This is also why we're pushing for FERC to really consider what's going on and give more time to us, because a lot of this was based on false information or skewed information. So, and then I know this is going to get probably into a bunch of questions that I probably won't be able to answer, but the Gwinnett Valley project, I don't know if you were following that, it passed last week. So that project some of the project will be moving forward. I know that there's concerns about it when it comes to water and it comes to the road access for fires and whatnot. So yeah, and I'm sure that there could be a potential for litigation, because there always is. So in the meantime, that's where that is. I know there was another reason why I wanted to bring up the Robin Bore, but thinking back to Spring Valley, the bridge, Glenn had mentioned he put it on the capital improvement plan, and I had reached out to Lars about circling back on that. And I did reach out to him also about circling back on the universal garbage, because that's why I wanted you all to have that at the forefront when you come before the board to do a update. And that way we can be a further, because that has been one of the main discussions here, and it has been mentioned to start in Clear Lake Oaks. So that's a key thing to discuss when we have that report. one more thing, the flock cameras, we've been having struggles with those. If anyone's noticed, I know on Sulphur Bank, it's been pulled out and thrown to the side, so.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The flock cameras, the license plate
Oh,
readers.
okay.
Those, a couple of those, actually Pile Road, Sulphur Bank, they've been destroyed and vandalized. So I've been working with Flock to readjust and reposition some of these where they'd be more visible and they're not in a spot where they can get thrown. I won't necessarily share because I don't know if those are going to be the spots yet. The good thing is there's some cameras now that have the ability to view the dumping. If we got the right spot where the dumping is, I've spoke with some of the folks from CC4C. They know the spots, especially on Sulphur Bank Drive where that was taking place, and there's some spots throughout the district that we'll be positioning some of those to catch people dumping. If we can corner them through the license plate readers and then also those being positioned and fixed in spots where they can be caught in the act, that'll be a more likely way to fine and hold these people accountable who are dumping. So that's the contract for those cameras has been coming up, but some of them are not even really bringing any value to what they're there for. They can't necessarily catch people in the act of dumping. They just actually read the license plates, and so we're just looking for whoever came in or came out. I'm going to eliminate a couple of them so that I can adjust for those fixed cameras that'll catch people dumping. That way the budget doesn't really extremely change so much, and we can go from there. And then areas that aren't really catching anything, Spring Valley, I'm still going to keep yours out there because they work. They use those out there. So, but there's some other spots there that they're at that really don't hold any. They don't really do anything. They're just there. So I don't want to waste any of the resources that we have for that. That's what I have for now. You mentioned the cleanup day already, so that was the other thing I was going to bring up, and I'll go from there. I know that some folks had talked to me earlier about a couple things, and the Schindler Creek was one of them. So we'll go from there. And I'll let you know how it goes when it comes to the rent stabilization. They like to say rent control. But either way, it's semantics. I wish I could share with you some of these conversations I'm having because it's quite interesting. But, yeah.
Supervisor Crandall, what about signage around some of these places where they're dumping, basically saying, video surveillance is now in effect for this area?
Yeah, that's a meeting with Lars because I've been trying to get signage for a couple years now. There's been.
I think it would be a low-cost way to maybe deter some of these people from going into these areas.
I've just had a struggle with Public Works in the past trying to get those up for whatever reason. Marcus and I got to a point where they were getting the areas we had focused on, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and that was a few years back. So every time we've gotten some leeway on it or got some headway on it, now Lars, I'm going to work with Lars on it. I know he'll help me get those in place.
I'd like to be the first to request one for High Valley Road.
Yeah.
So on the Schindler Creek, I know we discussed it a little bit. How many different agencies? Is it Fish and Game?
So she's asking agencies, you're asking what, Water Resources, you said Fish and Game, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and then Lake County Water Resources. So, yes, it could be a myriad of all of those. But first and foremost, like you said that the code enforcement person went out there. Right, but the goal is to get Water Resources out there. Yeah. Right.
Like the big trees, the bushes.
Right. We're dealing with that in different areas as well. No, it's Water Resources.
Oh, it is
Yes,
water
yes. Yeah.
And all the dumping that's hidden underneath all the trees and stuff. Who is that?
It's code, just like you said. You said code went out there. It's a combination. It's a combination, yes. And whoever's caught can be held accountable for the stream and contamination, because some of that could be actual toxic waste.
Oh, it definitely is to the people that are caught.
So I'm repeating what you say because people online, she's saying, yeah. Yeah, so she's saying basically that there is more than likely some of these contaminants in the water.
It's a huge, I'm just concerned when winter comes and the rains start.
Right, right. Especially with the vegetation and the flooding. Yeah, yeah.
You know, the garbage we can clean up.
Right.
Doesn't the Blue Ribbon Committee?
Blue Ribbon Committee probably won't be able to attack that because right now it has to be brought forward from a party that's in the Blue Ribbon Committee. So it can be something that's cooked up now to present for next year, but this year they're not going to just go in and appropriate funding from it because it comes from the state.
They already have quite a large grant there with
Right, but
UC Davis.
and that's for he's talking about the grant for UC Davis, that's the hypolimnetic oxygenation. That has nothing to do, they're not gonna.
I'm talking about the hitch recovery.
Right.
program.
So he's talking about the hitch recovery program. So we're gonna have to get together with someone from that group and ask if that can be something to address there. But at the same time, if there's already funding that's allocated, they're not going to adjust it just to fit what we're talking about. It's gonna have to be something new, yeah.
Oh, but it would fit right in if they made the rehab. They, as far as I know, EG, they have not done a single thing on, and that project has been going on for 6 or 7
Which project are you talking about? Which project are you talking about?
It was
The Blue Ribbon Committee, right. Well, here's the thing about some of that funding. It got pushed back for a year because the budget didn't get passed for it. So some of the approvals that took place the year before are now being implemented. That's why I'm saying it would take probably to start cooking it up now so that it'd be ready for the year after if there was a party to do so, which would probably be Water Resources if they can get it together, or if they can appropriate it or link it to what they already have, like you said.
I'll dig up some more, the facts. I'll get the
And since you've mentioned it to me already, I'm going to reach out to Water Resources and see if there is, what they're already doing with that area. Yeah.
So the other question is, some of us, people will go out and start chopping some of the bushes off, some of the trees off, and then just from what I hear from the outside, we'll get in trouble for doing that.
So actually, here's the thing, if your property, so she said that basically if there's somebody that wants to go down and cut it, they'll probably do it themselves and they're feeling that they'll get in trouble for it. So if you have property that's in the creek and it goes into that creek, you can do so. You just have to apply for it and state that you're doing it.
We have to apply?
No, you just have to write that you're doing it. You can do it, yes, if it's your property. Well, I think that's what we have to work with Water Resources, because I know that over in Upper Lake, there was folks that were able to do it themselves. So let's talk further, and that way we can, because I don't want to just keep going back and forth here, because we're not even really going to get anywhere. We have to talk to Water Resources.
So,
yeah.
Supervisor Crandall, so this would be a good spot to address during the coastal cleanup day?
Right.
Water
Yes.
Resources is gonna be out going around on September 20th to
Right.
do these cleanups.
Right.
So this would be a good project for
Right,
that.
and I know that if the property is the private property, they can go into those. And I know that in Upper Lake, they've been working with the Conservation Corps to help with that, and then also the Terra Group. But of course, the Terra Group would need to have a source of grant funding or something of the like, and that's where maybe Blue Ribbon can come in and partner with them if that's the case. And they're pretty good at cutting the vegetation. They did it in Clover Creek. There was a portion of Clover Creek they worked on, and they cleared out. That's the Terra Group, yeah.
So Barbara, per what Angela just said, it might be worthwhile if a bunch of you got together and then contacted Linda Rosasbill at Water Resources and put together an idea of doing this, and that way you'd also be making contact with her and with Water Resources. But maybe it's something that could be addressed during that day.
EJ, I have a question. I understand Schindler Creek project and everything that's going on. I've been here for 60 years. One of the new ones is the culvert on Highway 20 between Sulphur Bank Road on into the Oaks. It's Caltrans's property, but they're not maintaining it. Who can get them to clean that culvert? It's full of garbage, trees, and it will go into our water. Goes right straight to the water. Goes under the road, right into the water.
It's Caltrans, you said? Okay, let me just write that. I'll just reach out to one of our contacts for Caltrans.
And it does, once it gets to, under the highway, it makes a turn and goes right into the east channel.
Exactly.
Right.
It's dumping all of that sediment and trash.
Right, and that's just what she said, so we could reach out to them.
In 20 years, since it's been put in, it's never been cleaned out.
So I'll talk with Manny. There's a guy named Manny I can talk to you about that, yeah. Yep, all right. Anything else?
Do you have any more? Yeah. Oh,
Move along.
yep. Oh,
There's a question over here.
oh, we can't hear. We can't, I'm sorry, we need a microphone on her. She's,
I don't understand why they're not, animal control will not go up on Sulphur Bank Drive and help these abandoned animals. Instead, they're harassing us down at the end of Sulphur Bank Drive, especially me, when we're trying to help these animals that are coming down from the top of Sulphur Bank Drive. I have been harassed now 3 times.
And I forwarded that information to the acting. So
Yesterday.
just so you know, I've already forwarded. Did someone come talk to you? Or?
Yesterday,
Okay,
they came
good.
again.
And they came again and harassed you again?
Yes, they did.
Okay. All right.
So I don't understand it, because all we're trying to do is help these animals that are coming in. They're being thrown over our gates, they just come in,
Mhm.
and we're trying to help them. Spay, neuter,
Right.
shots, everything we can do, and then try to rehome them, the cats.
Yes.
So I'm not understanding this.
Right. I don't know how to answer you right now.
Okay.
Sorry. I do have a meeting with somebody coming up. I've reached out to someone reached out to me, and so I'm gonna follow up, and it has to do with spay and neuter and all that. Mhm.
are there any other questions for Supervisor Crandall?
Thomas, nothing on Zoom?
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Supervisor Crandall. We appreciate you. Okay, we're going to move on quickly to new business and wrap this up. We have a resignation on the board. Our dear friend Jim is going to be resigning effective tomorrow, actually, after 10 years on the board. It's time for someone new. Thank you, Jim. He thanks everyone. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
It's been a real pleasure. You know, from the start, it was really tough. We only had a few people that come to these meetings, and it slowly gained and gained and gained. And I think the board and the people in this district have really pushed this forward. And I think you're going to push it a lot further, and things are starting to move. So I wish you luck, but I'm tired.
Well, thank you very much for your commitment.
So I'm assuming that applications can be submitted via, if you go to, is it admin? If you go to the clerk of the board, yeah.
Well, we can put a link to it.
Yeah.
It's on the county's website. There's boards and commissions where the application is. And that's the same place where CSA is.
And then basically the board is the one who appoints the.
Yeah, so the
Right.
board of supervisors will take the applications in and they'll appoint someone from there.
All right. Tell your friends. Thank you so much. Okay, any other announcements? And any other new business, rather? We good? All right. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to adjourn the meeting.
At 5:50.
The time is 5:51, and our next meeting will be on October 1st, 2025 at 4 o'clock here at the Moose Lodge. Thank you very much.
You might want to